Previously on The Greatest Estate Developer. Our hero shattered the impossible trials, toppled the corrupt system, escaped a deadly siege, yet the enemy's hidden agenda looms larger than ever. And now the story continues. The contract is sealed, the city's pulse freezes. The opening scene blazes The Greatest Estate Developer. Soo-ho Kim stares at the bold title, eyes flaring with shock. He senses the crushing promise of a brand new realm. Exhausted, Soo-ho's lids droop and he slips into a restless sleep, oblivious to the destiny waiting. Soo-ho leans back, the ink smearing into a haze. Sleep yanks his consciousness, darkness gulping his room. In an instant, a sun-lit mountain erupts, shattering the night. He awakens amid gilded pillars, a noble's robe draped over his shoulders. A dusty ledger, Lloyd Fronter's debts, rests on a marble table beside him. The estate lord faces his family's creditors, fists tightening. Soo-ho ponders the loss of both parents, who never saw his ultimate mastery. Their premature deaths ignite a fierce resolve to complete their unfinished ambitions. He swears their sacrifices will echo in triumph. Yet an unseen vigil still shadows his steps. A gentle breeze carries faint whispers. Soo-ho recognizes his parents' lingering spirits, urging his hand. Their invisible counsel steadies his pen as he sketches the final blueprint. Now he must face the Hellgate's raging fury. Donning Lloyd's visage, Soo-ho pores over the tactical chart. A glaring flaw jumps out. He marks it with a decisive finger. Then he pinpoints the Hellgate, frozen at the world's northern edge, a ticking disaster demanding immediate repair. Soo-ho shouts the activation chant, ignoring the formal incantation, his voice booming louder. A serene voice responds, revealing that his winter heart and summer eye merge, unleashing a surge of power. It will fire even without the proper name.
Winter heart and summer eye combine, magnifying strength.
The TV-1 now locks onto a selectable target zone. Soo-ho learns the TV-1's hidden mode. Once Arton attains 5th stage, it can lock onto any location he's trod or any ally he's known, granting instant aid across miles. He programs 2 coordinates, Lyd Dobby Bridge and the Queen's Envoy. Extra function ignites at Arton's 5th stage.
Target locked, Lyd Dobby Bridge. Target locked, Queen's Envoy.
Soo-ho opts to unleash the ending spoiler, betting it will expose the plan's climax. Bella probes, how will this scheme unfold? Urging the crew to act before the surge. Their inquisitiveness fuels the final charge toward the Hellgate. Activate the ending spoiler and reveal the outcome.
Show us how the plan advances.
The TV-1 now casts a projection of the Hellgate's imminent collapse, primed for the decisive strike.
Arton ascends to 5th stage, unlocking the TV-1's concealed mode that streams every zone Soo-ho marked, providing instant battlefield support as the Hellgate's surge timer blinks down to 7 seconds. Soo-ho bears the overwhelming burden of omniscient control, trembling as the pending surge threatens to crush his allies' hopes. Bella's commendation for sparing the demon steals his resolve to safeguard both realms. The Demon King orders an instant cessation of the Fate Restoration, leaving Soo-ho staring at a ticking clock, an enigmatic spoiler trigger, and the dread whether his fresh surveillance can outrun the impending cataclysm.
YouTube might never recommend this channel to you again. Don't risk it. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari right now.
A relentless horde tears through the estate. The developer's blueprint shatters. Kang Hyung-woo flicks his magical ledger. The life-saved counter blinks red, hovering dangerously low. One stubborn debt still haunts his family name, threatening the whole county. He clamps his drafting tools, eyes steeled to redraw the plan. Time ticks mercilessly. The audit will soon expose a deeper flaw. Kang launches a full audit of his holdings. The report reveals a stubborn restoration anomaly. Magic that should mend the ruins is dead. He grasps the grim truth. The revival spell is shattered. Fueled by resolve, he vows to chase the story's ending hidden in the current flow. A single clue could turn disaster into salvation. The sky blackens as the Legion halts, encircling the ruined county. A deep, resonant voice booms, proclaiming the realm of the Iron Blood Knight. In the Iron Blood Knight's world, near gods emerge, it declares. Massive silhouettes stride forward. First, a mountain-sized dragon roars, scales glinting molten gold. "Dragon King of the human world," a guard mutters. Then a radiant figure descends, wings unfurled, holy light spilling forth. "Archangel of the heavens," another cries. Behind them, the Iron Blood Knight looms, armor clanking, eyes blazing crimson fire. The Iron Blood Knight raises its massive sword. A chorus of unseen voices echoes its command. And Kang Hyung-woo moves forward amid chaos, eyes scanning battered troops. He sees surviving soldiers forming a shaky barrier. He lifts his hand, meeting desperate gazes. His voice cuts through clamor, offering brief commendation. Morale spikes, however, briefly as the enemy looms. The battlefield trembles, anticipating the next wave. "You've done well." Yet a new terror approaches. Javier, the veteran frontliner, crumples under a massive blow, blood splattering the ground. A nearby ally shouts, disbelief cracking his voice, labeling the loss absurd. Javier is the story's main hero. The system UI flashes red, displaying lives saved, confirming his death. Remaining fighters gasp, watching the count drop. Hope wanes as the enemy surges forward. The Iron Blood Knight steps forward, voice resonating like a death knell. He declares the system's cruel law. The world stabilizes only when a single protagonist survives. He points to the lone survivor, Hyung-woo, and explains the logic of the reset. A faint, unknown voice whispers from the shadows, questioning the cruelty of this rule. This revelation forces Hyung-woo to confront the ultimate sacrifice needed to save his people.
That was how the world stabilized, since only one protagonist remained. A voice.
The Iron Blood Knight hoists his humming blade, issues a system-wide reset, and crowns himself King of Hell. The Citadel's ruins instantly twist, reshaping into a brand new, nightmarish worldscape. Kang Hyung-woo watches the fire-lighted ashes, feeling the crushing loss of his comrades and the bitter certainty that only one survivor may ever escape the system's cruel rule. A shadowy whisper rises behind the newly crowned monarch, hinting at a hidden mastermind, while the looming silhouette threatens to rewrite every bargain the protagonists have ever made.
You're procrastinating, I'm narrating. It's a perfect match. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
He slams the inked contract, vowing the skyline will collapse at dawn. The title card flashes Chinese letter, the greatest estate developer. Suddenly, a razor-sharp voice pierces the air, demanding his destination and probing whether he's fleeing to the Mermaid Kingdom. The question crashes into Kim Soo-ho's mind, forcing an instant reckoning with his rash exit. Underneath, a shadowy motive glints, promising to pull the whole estate into treacherous depths.
Where are you rushing? Business in Mermaid Kingdom.
Y'all's provocation foreshadows a deadly wager that looms on the horizon. Kim Soo-ho meets the probing question with a razor-sharp retort. He lifts his chin, eyes blazing, and delivers a single line, "No matter what." Y'all confesses that Soo-ho's boldness sparked his affection. He declares it's time to satisfy Soo-ho's curiosity, issuing an unspoken challenge. The pressure mounts as both ready for a decisive action that could seal their fate and the estate's future. Y'all steps closer, eyes glinting with hopeful calculation.
Your nerve made me fall for you. Now it's time to answer your curiosity, right?
The next move forces Soo-ho to confront Death Kim directly. Y'all declares his humanity, admitting his own mortality and questioning why he must descend into the human realm just to await his brief death. A fate the King of Hell deems swift. A massive stone clock on the platform ticks down to 0. The hour hand snaps forward, and a deep bell tolls across the courtyard. Light pours from the vortex, forming a bright doorway. Soo-ho feels the air vibrate as the magic barrier weakens. Y'all steps forward, chanting an ancient sigil, while Death Kim snarls, ready to strike. The 0 hour opens the path to the other realm. 0 hour triggers the crossing ritual. Soo-ho steps into the glowing doorway, his boots clanking on stone. Behind him, Y'all raises a hand, directing a stream of silver energy toward the portal's edge. Death Kim lunges, sword drawn, but the portal's force pushes him back. But Soo-ho nods, whispers, "Don't worry." He signals that his defenses are back online and the poison threat is neutralized. With his blueprint secured, he turns to Y'all, ready to push forward on the estate's reconstruction. The reassurance steadies the team, letting them focus on the looming debt crisis. He also checks the pressure valves, confirming safety. Don't worry. Next, Suho must rally the giant hamster to assist the new construction.
Suho straps his crane rig to a floating stone, seizing the portal's energy surge and channeling it into a stabilizing field that halts the vortex's collapse. The field glows bright, freezing the chaos and buying the team precious seconds. Yal watches Suho's veins blacken with lethal poison, feeling his own ambition crack as his friend teeters between death and triumph, fearing the cost of their relentless power. Yal's heartbeat quickens, the weight of ambition pressing harder than any curse. With the toxin receding and the blueprint secured, a shadowy figure looms behind Death Kim, eyes glinting, promising a darker challenge that could shatter their fragile victory. The figure's silhouette flickers, hinting at an unseen mastermind ready to rewrite the rules.
The sheer power in this chapter is unbelievable. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
The queen's heart is bound by a curse spell that only true love can break, or the whole kingdom will crumble. The royal curse magnifies any buried fear, turning it into savage madness. Suho, now residing in Lloyd Frontera, watches the monarch stumble, aware that her survival guarantees the peaceful realm he dreams of building. Should the curse spread, his vision of a thriving estate will collapse. Meanwhile, Javier gathers raw mana, ready to forge a cure for the ailing queen. Suho grunts, ugh. He reminds himself that the queen is the linchpin of the future he craves, a stable kingdom where he can finally breathe easy. Her reign shields the land, allowing his grand construction projects to flourish. Suho roars, let's do this, as cursed entities swarm the courtyard. The Demon King advances, eyes icy, unveiling his strategy.
I'll cut them down one by one.
Their synchronized strike is vital. Each orb must be shattered before it infects the queen's mind. Tension spikes as the lead cursed orb rolls forward. Suho targets the nearest menace. First up, you. He pours an entire mana orb into the cursed sphere, annihilating it but draining his own reserves. The sacrifice grants the queen a fleeting breath of safety, yet sacrifices precious mana needed for later cures. The queen watches, her eyes lingering on the hope that love mana might still arrive. The cursed mana orb balloons, spilling dark light. Cracks spider across its surface, emitting a low roar that rattles the courtyard. Suho pours additional, dwindling mana into the shield, breath shallow. The queen's chest heaves feebly, yet the orb's expansion threatens to shatter the barrier. The Demon King watches, his face a mask of unreadable intent. Should the orb explode, the curse will engulf both queen and kingdom. Suho's reserves wane, and the queen's fate teeters on a final gamble. The queen collapses onto the stone floor, hand pressed to her chest. Suho's palm flares brighter, pouring love mana into the wound. A blinding aura erupts, enveloping both. The shield splinters, shards clattering. The Demon King hoists a dark orb, its surface swirling like an endless void. The orb balloons, birthing a yawning portal that threatens to devour the courtyard. The queen lunges forward, sword raised, intent on sealing the rift. Javier darts to her side, shielding her from the abyssal energy. Suho's faint aura flares, channeling mana into the portal's rim. The giant hamster snarls, unleashing a burst of brilliant mana that collides with the void. The portal shudders, suggesting it can be sealed. Suho's awakening could be the key to closing the breach.
The queen channels pure love mana, shattering the cursed orb. Simultaneously, a massive, mana-glimmering hamster drops a blueprint beside Suho's unconscious form, while the Demon King conjures a void portal that threatens to engulf the courtyard. The queen clings to a fragile hope as Suho's revived aura flickers with salvation, though she senses his life teetering on the edge of death. The Demon King's yawning portal widens, devouring light, as the queen steadies her sword, leaving the kingdom's fate balanced on a battle that has only just begun.
The arc is heating up and the uploads are getting faster. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari. Now's the time.
The queen's silence cracks the hall. The developer, eyes like steel, storms the corridor, every stone echoing his stride. He knows her life teeters on a knife, lose her and the throne shatters. He charges toward the inner chamber. He questions the queen, demanding why she never stayed awake this late. The night hangs heavy, silent save for the distant roar of the divine dragon. A hidden mana siphon gnaws at her vigor, threatening to drain her completely. Time races. He must locate the source before it swallows her life. He readies his gear. Captain Ryu freezes as an odd voice reverberates through the hall, shouting, "What in the world is happening?" He then snarls, "Where is Sir Lloyd?" The urgency reveals their reliance on Lloyd's skill to save the Queen. Tension rises as the mana shield sputters, and the hunt for crystals intensifies. The Queen's mana shield flickers, its blue glow waning as mana ebbs. Lee Junwoo darts to the crystal vault, snatching radiant gems and racing back to reinforce the shield. The divine dragon's roar rattles the stone, spewing raw mana that the barrier briefly captures. The Queen's pulse steadies. Now the court must decide who will be bound to her by the ancient law. The Queen presses, "How long until I'm fully recovered?" Lloyd answers, "About a month, and I guarantee complete healing." He sighs, muttering, "To achieve that, ugh, your majesty," signaling the staggering mana price.
How long will it take to make a full recovery?
Roughly 1 month. I can guarantee full recovery within that time. In order to do that, ugh, your majesty. With the timeline set, Lloyd begins the mana-intensive treatment. The Queen orders Lloyd Frontera come closer. He advances, kneels, and whispers, "Treat me," ready to pour his power into her wounds as the court watches in tense silence.
Lloyd Frontera, come closer.
"Treat me," the Queen declares. "You understand, don't you? By royal law, anyone who shares my bed must marry me." The proclamation triggers the marriage clause, binding Lloyd to the throne for a month-long cure. His fate and the kingdom's politics are sealed. Lloyd now confronts an unwanted wedding as the divine dragon looms ever closer.
The Queen compels Lloyd to pour blue mana into her wounds, invoking the hidden statute that forces marriage on anyone who shares her bedchamber, instantly sealing his bond. Lloyd wagers his freedom as the Queen regains strength. Magenta secures a month of influence, and the court wrestles with the stark erosion of autonomy imposed by the ancient law. With the marriage clause sealed, Lloyd teeters on the edge of a coerced union, while hidden nobles scheme to wield or dismantle the decree, leaving his destiny in peril.
But you can't guess what happens next. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry and see if you're right.
Your crew's dead, the palace's coffers exploded, time's already run out. Chinese Letter, the greatest estate developer, storms onto a shattered balcony. He scans a sea of panicked workers and soldiers. Zhang Ming-ah, a royal envoy, darts forward, clutching a sealed decree that could stop the massacre. Enemy projectiles scream across the sky, shattering stone walls. Chinese Letter gestures toward a hidden tunnel behind a collapsed column. Together they yank the decree from his satchel and pull the trapped workers into the darkness. A cannonball crashes where they stood seconds later. The tunnel slams shut, shielding the group from the blast. Dozens survive, buying the kingdom a precious moment to consider reform. The hidden passage now whispers of future schemes. The king pulls his hand back slightly, then laughs, eyes glittering with mischief.
Do you really like holding my hand that much? His teasing masks a deeper anxiety about losing control of the realm's affairs. The banter lightens the tension while the council watches, waiting for the king's decision on the pending trade guild regulation. The outcome will determine whether the estate developer can push his reforms through.
Their next step hinges on the king's final answer. The king stammers, his voice cracking under pressure.
Ah. No. That not it. He swallows, trying to regain composure, while leans in, whispering urgently.
"No, that, RLH, Suho pushes the proposal aside in his mind. He mutters, "Forget it, pointless thoughts. Of course she wants me as consort." He then reasons, a monarch seeks capable allies, not a bureaucratic pushover. He recalls Wang He Issa, the legendary chief who never bowed to idle demands. Suho decides he will not be a pawn in a marriage game. He plans to slip away from the ceremony, preserving his freedom to engineer the kingdom's recovery. This refusal matters because accepting would strip him of the ability to act independently on the Trade Guild Amendment. By rejecting the marriage, he keeps his leverage intact and stays focused on the larger reform. "I won't be a bureaucratic pushover. You feel the weight of the kingdom on your shoulders." Suho confronts the king, questioning why capable officials aren't given authority. He argues that personal handling creates bottlenecks and delays. The king retorts that if he rests, the people will suffer. He adds that his suffering protects the people, keeping them safe. Suho counters that delegating would empower officials and speed recovery. The king's eyes flash, torn between duty and exhaustion. The council watches the heated exchange, aware the outcome will affect every province. The debate intensifies, the kingdom's future hanging on this dialogue. Suho's push for reform meets royal resistance, threatening his plans. A sudden alarm sounds from the courtyard, signaling an incoming attack.
Suho activates his prototype irrigation turbine in the arena, then storms the throne room, boldly declaring he could run the kingdom better, while the giant hamster drags stone blocks, amplifying his audacious claim. Suho feels the weight of the realm crushing his resolve as he risks alienating the king and his staunch workaholic rival, risking his reputation and the chance to reshape the kingdom's future. The king watches, unmoving, while the workaholic woman eyes Suho's challenge, and the kingdom's officials whisper about a looming power shift that could ignite rebellion if Suho's gamble fails.
You're procrastinating. I'm narrating. It's a perfect match. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry.
He sketches a sky-piercing tower in 3 frantic minutes. The kingdom trembles. The banner, the greatest estate developer, blazes across the page. A solitary guide watches from the shadows, whispering that everything looks doable, as if the plan were a child's puzzle. His smug optimism foreshadows a desperate rescue for the debt-ridden Frontera clan. Lloyd's creditors already circle like wolves. The guide storms Lloyd, accusing him of barging into every crisis. He snarls that Lloyd's endless tasks have drained his stamina, leaving him a shell. Lloyd nods, admitting the weight of debts, inventions, and battles. The rebuke makes clear that Lloyd's energy is a ticking clock, essential for the looming construction. The guide repeats his command, kneel. Kneel, demanding obedience. A voice from the crowd, Alicia, protests, questioning why they must bow to the king. The guide silences her, insisting all duties fall to retainers while the king focuses on his treatment.
Kneel. What? Pardon? Kneel.
Alicia Terminal Magenta No. Entrust all duties to your retainers and focus on your treatment immediately.
The king's speech is cut short, setting up the next chaos. A sudden hush falls as the king's words are abruptly cut. Lloyd shouts, "Fine, fine, I get it, I'll listen," trying to calm the storm. Without pause, the same subject scoffs, questioning how a lowly follower could shoulder royal duties. He confesses his earlier claim was false, exposing his lie. The accusation rattles Lloyd, who feels the trial slipping. The audience murmurs, sensing the mock royal struggle turning into a personal showdown. Lloyd must answer before the 3-minute mark expires, or lose authority.
How could a mere subject take on the king's duties? I was lying.
Lloyd's response sets the tone for tonight's plan. The guide steps forward, locking eyes with Lloyd. "I know who you are, Lloyd Frontera," he says. Lloyd snaps, accusing the guide of using his words to rouse him, claiming his vision narrowed under pressure. The party arrives at the shrine, finding the truth jewel radiating intense energy. As they approach, the artifact pulses and a strange symbol appears on its surface. Bella stares, eyes widening, and whispers a stunned exclamation. The jewel's power fluctuates, hinting it may vanish if they fail to act fast. Their hope now hangs on this fragile miracle.
No way.
The truth jewel flickers and begins to fade as Lloyd watches, his engineered marvels dissolve within the shrine. The artifact's dimming pulse threatens to erase his greatest creations, casting a shadow over every hope he built. Lloyd feels his life's work crumble. The loss of his pioneering inventions and the looming hell invasion crushes hope, while the Queen's new title looms like a haunting reminder of his fragile ambition. With the jewel's light waning and hell forces marching toward the border, Lloyd must choose. Chase the vanished artifact's secret path or watch his empire dissolve into oblivion.
There's a twist coming that nobody sees coming. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari, you'll want to be ready.
The Titan crashes, shattering the city's core and unleashing a torrent of ice that spreads like a living scar. Jinwoo, hailed as the greatest estate developer, surveys the jagged fissure yawning beneath the streets. He barks, "Pour it," and the crew scrambles, hauling buckets of fresh concrete, slamming them into the cold gap before the frost can creep deeper. Their frantic zeal holds the city for precious minutes, buying time before the next wave of destruction rolls in. Yet even as the dust settles, a new fissure erupts along the Lloyd Habai Bridge. A small voice shouts, "Kiddo," from the crowd, drawing Jinwoo's younger brother into the chaos. The brother yells back, "Husband," to Jinwoo's wife, who darts toward the bridge's edge, clutching his arm. Their hurried greetings cut through the clang of hammers, adding a pulse of raw emotion to the frantic repairs. The family's sudden arrival fuels Jinwoo's resolve, reminding him why he fights. He now must juggle his familial duties with the looming disaster. Mother-in-law whispers, "You've contacted me every day since that day. I finally forgive you and will meet you." Jinwoo snaps, "Oh my, is that so? You stopped contacting me because of that wicked mother-in-law. Don't say that." Sir Bayern replies to Jinwoo's gratitude. He says that if the problem lay within his power, Jinwoo would already have devised a scheme to secure help. His response shows skepticism about their ability to confront the looming threat. The exchange underscores the urgency of forging a solid plan. The team feels the pressure to devise a workable solution, and soon must locate the broken fragment of the truth jewel.
Well,
The Demon King materializes, his voice echoing across the broken bridge. He hurls cryptic questions at the stunned team. Who? And you're? The threat forces everyone to act fast, or the crack will widen and the kingdom will fall. Their response will decide the fate of the jewel and the realm.
Who? You're?
The heroes scramble to answer before darkness spreads. Jinwoo looks at the trembling crew on the bridge. He asks the giant hamster, "Friend?" The hamster shakes its head. The Demon King steps forward, points at Jinwoo, and intones, "You." The question forces Jinwoo to choose allegiance quickly. The decision will determine whether they keep the bridge sealed or let the crack widen.
Jinwoo slams his fist on the cracked bridge, demanding the Demon King name the price, while the hidden jewel's flaw erupts, forcing the crew to choose a fatal sacrifice. Myra's confession shatters the fragile trust, leaving Jinwoo to bear the weight of betrayal as his leadership teeters between arrogance and desperation. While the crew trembles between hope and dread, the cracked stone yawns wider, the Demon King points at Jinwoo, and the team freezes, unsure whether Jinwoo or a hidden ally will sacrifice themselves to seal the rift before darkness engulfs everything.
you're not just watching a recap, you're joining a movement. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
Core collapses, district teeters on ruin. Lee Junwoo must reboot simulation. He stands atop a gigantic map, greatest estate developer banner blazing. He scans flickering grid, sees imminent failure. A rare shard glints, offering a dangerous solution. Junwoo studies glowing shard, calls it irreplaceable. He declares no known technique can mend it. He muses crushing might seal the crack. He flips a switch, launches simulation mode. Material unattainable, repairs fail, compression. Simulation mode. He then hammers raw power at the stubborn crystal. Junwoo hammers shard, screams power, power. Splinters appear, force fails. He pauses, proposes feeding mana slowly to reseal crystal. Adam watches shard pulse, fate's restoration phenomenon raging. He longs to halt it, earn merits before King of Hell arrives. He believes stopping it could rewrite the ending. Mana seeps, pressure spikes. Their next move must crush dark mana surge. If this restoration stopped, I could earn merits before the King of Hell arrives. Their next move must stop dark mana surge. A black vortex erupts from shard, corrupt energy floods floor. Lab trembles as darkness coalesces into a shape. Echo steps back, eyes wide, whispers fear. The ominous form signals an incoming Hell Knight.
What is this?
Suho vows against reckless action, agrees to follow plan. Javier steps forward, readies tools for artifact. Their cooperation is vital to prevent disaster. Urgency forces immediate action. Team races to compress shard as restoration phenomenon looms. Javier warns, when restoration ends, merits must be collected fast. Suho nods, knowing merit points boost power before King of Hell appears. Urgency drives swift action. Merits must be earned quickly before Dark Mana Surge summons Hell Knight. Javier erupts at Suho, demanding immediate shard extraction. Tension spikes. Artifact threatens explosion. Mistake could cost everything. You idiot, what the hell are you doing? Are you crazy? Suho must choose to pull shard or risk curse. Echo spots Suho's frustration, tells him not to sulk over anger. He notes retired warriors grow bitter but excuse none. He urges methodical advance, seeking Kanto's HL artifact step by step.
You're not sulking because I got mad earlier, right? Retired fighters get cranky, but that's no excuse. Think. Find Kanto's HL one step at a time.
Suho nods, ready to chase Kanto's HL as darkness looms. Echo scans area around makeshift stake, spots dark mana swirl rising. He warns crew the anomaly signals Hell Knight summoning. Team debates rushing in to halt black magic. They note even if Knight appears, immediate danger is limited. Decision will decide if ritual completes and releases foe.
Suho clamps shattered crystal halves, channels mana surge, sealing crack as dark swirl erupts, heralding imminent Hell Knight summoning. Echo stakes his life protecting Suho, turning reckless pride into fragile bond, fueling crew's hope, reminding them past shortcuts cost countless lives. Glowing circle expands, team lunges at summoned entity, dark mana royals, hinting Hell Knight may break free before seal, leaving fate hanging.
The deepest lore dives, the highest quality editing. You found the best. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
The Super Hell Knight rips through the skyline. The estate developer's city teeters on a minute-long countdown. Geolexius crashes onto a shattered plaza, voice booming his name. He flashes back to the night he earned his Hell Knight rank, blood still clinging to his armor, pride burning hot. A hulking bodyguard lumbers forward, rusted blade gleaming. Geo snarls, accusing the guard of daring to trespass his domain. He recalls the oath sworn when he first lifted the black magic blade, a promise sealed in fire. Their clash threatens the fragile peace of nearby districts. A single breach could plunge the entire realm into chaos.
My name is Geolexia.
A trembling voice erupts from the massive hamster's side. Oh no, I'm so scared. I'm dying. Tilda the hamster's panic ripples to nearby allies, sparking brief chaos. The Super Hell Knight, hearing the fear, laughs cruelly and swings his blade toward the hamster's head. The hamster dives, narrowly evading the slash, and lands on a loose slab that cracks under impact. The crack releases a burst of magical energy that strikes the knight's armor. The magical burst arcs like lightning, momentarily stunning him. The knight staggers, clutching his chest, while the engineer rushes to the device still glowing with fate restoration energy. He hooks a life force conduit onto the knight, preparing to channel the volunteer's sacrifice. The Black Blade Knight snarls, "Huh, what do you mean? We work ourselves to death and get nothing." He gestures toward the endless battlefield. The battlefield stretches endlessly, emphasizing that his servitude yields no reward. This moment highlights the tragic reality of Hell Knights, bound to fight with no compensation. It drives Geolexius to question the morality of the summons. Their anger pushes the discussion toward the mysterious X-Pool hint. A faint whisper echoes through the arena. X-Pool? A strange symbol flashes on a nearby stone, hinting at a hidden reservoir of power or a cursed well. The image suggests a possible loophole or source of energy that could shift the balance.
A towering Super Hell Knight erupts from darkness, his cursed blade humming red as he lunges at Geolexius, forcing the latter to dodge while the arena erupts with blood-dripping chants. Geo feels his resolve shatter under endless exploitation, his guilt over the Black Blade Knight's sacrifice crushing hope as the crowd's bitter chant reminds him of a life devoured by Hell's endless labor. A flickering symbol on a stone whispers of an unseen power pool, leaving the battlefield trembling with unanswered questions as the Super Hell Knight's blade glows, promising a fatal showdown that could rewrite every soul's fate.
The snakes are hiding in plain sight. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.